Welcome besties to the sewing tutorial of this built up neckline peplum top. So in today's class we'll be cutting all our patterns and then sewing this top. So this is a continuation from our previous class. So if you missed the previous class, please go back to the previous class so that you can draft your patterns and be able to follow along with this sewing class. Okay, so in today's tutorial we'll be needing about 2 meters or 2.5 meters of fabric. Now depending on your size and depending on the width of your peplum, so 2 meters or 2.5 meters should be okay for cutting out this top. So we're going to fold our fabric. So I've already folded my fabric, and be sure that the fabric you're using is a little bit sturdy, that it has a little bit of weight. It is not too light, and yeah, it's not too light, a little bit sturdy, so that your neckline will come out very well, and so that your peplum too will also be nice. Okay, so once you folded your fabric like this, you're going to place your patterns on your fabric. Now remember to add your seam allowance when you're cutting your pattern. Don't forget. Now for this one we don't need seam allowance here because this is going to be cut on the folded edge of our fabric, and that is why I have already folded my fabric. So you place it like so, just on the edge, and then you add your seam allowance all around before you cut. You're going to do exactly the same thing for all the other pattern pieces. So please take note of how I added seam allowance to these parts. You see, just like this and then like this. I just follow the pattern. Okay, so when you finish cutting, please, in case you want to pleat yours, remember to give it notches so that it will be easy for you to pleat. But if you want to do gathers, then you really don't need notches here. Okay, either you give it notches or you use your fabric pen to just mark them very nicely. And then for the facing, once you've cut the facing on the fabric, remember to also cut facing for use a peplum to cut the facing. A peplum, or what people normally call the gum stay. So please do not use this kind of soft fusible. If you use this one, the neckline will not stay very well. It will not stand very well. So it's very important for you to use a peplum. You could see this is like a paper, so it will make it a lot more sturdy. And then you're going to go ahead to iron this on your facing very nicely. Then you're going to do the same thing for the back facing as well. So cut your peplum and then go and iron it on it very nicely. Okay, yeah. So once you've done that, then we're ready to start stitching. So we're going to start stitching the back first. So you're going to take your center back side. So to have a very clean finishing, you're first of all going to go ahead to overlock your raw edge so that it will look nice and neat. And then you're going to stitch with the right side facing the right side, just like this. You are going to stitch, measure from the neckline here, just measure it downwards about 10 cm. Use your chalk or your fabric pen to mark it from here to about 10 cm. So you're going to stitch from here to about 10 cm, and then you're going to leave this other part open, and then you go ahead to install your zipper. Okay, so once you finish installing your zipper, you're going to have something like this. So I went ahead to install an invisible zipper for my top. Now when you install your zipper, be sure not to install it all the way down to the end, so that you can have a little seam allowance to fold it in at the end. Okay, just install it something like this and leave a little space. Good. Now the next thing we're going to do would be for us to install for us to attach the side back. So you're going to take your side back. Now before you attach your side back, you want to attach it in a way that you're not going to have budges here at the corner, because this is a little bit tricky. So I'm going to show you a quick tip, a quick sewing tip that you're going to use, so that when you attach this to it, you're going to have a very smooth finishing on these corners. So what you're going to do is, I've used this technique in for all sharp corners like this, and it worked very well. So just follow through step by step. So you're going to stitch somewhere from here, maybe from this point to this point, maybe like about 3 or 5 cm. It doesn't really matter. You're just going to stitch on your seam allowance. Okay, so from here somewhere here where your seam allowance is, you're going to stitch like this, get to your point here where this sharp point is, then you go ahead like this and stitch somewhere here. Okay, we're going to stitch it like that, and then we're going to cut this part open. Now let me get to the sewing machine and show you exactly what I mean. So I'll be stitching from here now, somewhere here. I'll just stitch it down like this, like so. This is my fabric pen, so it doesn't really matter. So I'm going to stitch it and just follow my seam allowance just like this. Okay, remember, when you get to these sharp V points, you're going to leave your needle inside, raise your presser foot, turn it like this with your needle inside, and then pull down your presser foot, and then you continue. Just cut off your loose threads just like so. Okay, so you can see these sharp corners here like this point here. We are going to give it a notch, so you're just going to cut it all the way down to the end. Be sure not to cut on your stitches, but cut as close to the stitches as possible. You see what I've done? Okay, now you're going to take one side of the back side, the side back. Okay, so you just place it like so, and then use your pins to hold them together in place. Now it is very important for you to pin them, so take your time, don't be in a hurry, pin it very nicely. Okay, so you stop somewhere here, and you're going to go ahead and pin the rest like so. So just start from this corner here, the side seam, and then pin it. Make sure the side seams are matching, and then you just continue pinning. So you're going to have something like this. No worries at all. It is perfectly fine. It is going to ease out once you start stitching. Now you're going to stitch with this side where this V point is facing you. Is easier that way, so that you can see these sharp corners. So now you're going to start stitching from the top here. Yes, from here you're just going to start stitching. So just stitch on your former stitch line. It's okay, just stitch on it. Now once you get to this V point here, let me adjust this a little bit. Once you get to this point, once you get to this V point, you're going to leave your needle inside. Okay, so you leave your needle right inside, and then you lift up your presser foot just like this, and then you continue stitching. Just turn this a little bit. Remember, leave your presser foot inside. Okay, oh no, leave your needle inside, not your presser foot. Leave your needle inside like this, and then release your presser foot, drop it down, and then you just continue stitching. Okay, so let's flip it to the right side and let's see how it looks. Okay, so you see, once you flip it to the right side, you can see that your corners are staying very well. See, no budgies at all. It's looking nice and neat. Now if yours is not looking as neat as this, please go ahead and re-stitch it so that it will lie flat. Now you can see how it is on the back side. So you can go ahead now, if you want a very clean finishing, you can go ahead now, then overlock your seams so that it will lie very flat, and then you're going to iron it very nicely like so. Okay, and then you're also going to do exactly the same thing for the other side and for the front side as well. It's just exactly the same technique. Okay, so once you finish joining the side back and the side front together, make sure you give it a very good press so that it can relax very well like this. Now the next thing we're going to do would be for us to join the front and back together at the shoulder. So you're going to take the front piece and the back piece together with the right side facing themselves, and then just place them together like so, and then you're going to join from here all the way down to the shoulder tip, from the neck tip all the way down to the shoulder tip. Okay, now once you finish joining them, you are going to give it a little notch somewhere here, this corner here, so that it can relax very well. And then you're going to open press your seam allowance just like this, and then you are going to go join your facing. Remember to iron on your peplum to your facing so that it will be a little sturdy like so. And then you're going to join, this is the center back, so you're going to join them together here, join the center back seam, close it to the end, open press your seam allowance, and then you're going to join them to the front part. So you're going to join them just like this, you see, so join it like that, and join this other side like so, and then give it a little notch just at the corner here so that it can relax very well. And then you're going to go ahead and open press your seam allowance. Okay, now the next thing will be for us to use our facing to turn our top neckline. Now make sure your facing is neat like this. You've ironed it out, and then you've actually open press your seam allowance very well. You do the same thing for this one as well. Okay, now you're just going to use it to turn your neckline with the front side, the right side of your top against the right side of your facing. So place your facing just like this, match all the seam allowances, use your pins to hold them together in place. Okay, and then match the shoulder or the neckline seam allowance. Okay, now you're going to pin it all around from one end all the way down to the other end. Please make sure you pin it very nicely. Okay, Okay, so once you've pinned it all around like this, you're going to start stitching. You're going to stitch it all around like so. Okay, now remember, when you're stitching the front, remember we added very tiny seam allowance, so you're going to stitch it also very tiny like that. You get to this point and then like that all the way down to the back. Okay, so I'm just going to start stitching from the back. So you see how tiny I'm stitching here, so stitch yours very tiny as well, the seam allowance. And when you're coming down, just even make it a lot tinier. Now once you get to this sharp V point, lift up your presser foot, leave your needle inside, and then turn it just like this. Okay, then pull down your presser foot and then continue stitching. So you see your V sharp points, you see how it is. Now you're going to give it a little snip, just a little bit. Be sure not to cut on the stitches, you see, so that it will relax very well. So now you're going to take this inside. So you're going to take it to the ironing board. Make sure this place relaxes very well. You see this point here, this is your V point. It's very important. Okay, mine is looking nice, I like it. If it's not relaxing very well, you can still snip it a little bit, but I think this is just okay. Now you take it to your ironing board and then give it a very good press. Now once you finish pressing your neckline, you're going to have something like this, nice and neat, right? So if you open the back side, it's going to look just like this, you see. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do would be for us to join the side seams together. So you place the side seam like that, and then you go ahead to join them together, and then you open press your seam allowance. Now once you've done that, you'll be ready to stitch, to prepare your sleeve for stitching. Now you're going to take your sleeve. Remember that if you're making pleats, then you're just going to pleat your sleeve. Now it would be nice for you to pleat your sleeve towards the back. So for example, this is the back side of my sleeve, this one. So you're just going to take the first pleat here, the first leg, place it on top of the second one like so, and then use your pins to hold them together in place. So you are pleating them towards the back. So you place this one here, you take this one, fold it, and then pleat it like so. Use your pin to hold them together in place. And then for this last one, you're going to also hold the first one, place it on top of the second notch like so. Use your pins to hold them together in place. So you see, you're going to have your 3 pleats just like this. Now you're going to go stitch them together first before you close your side seam and then attach your sleeve to your top. Okay, now if you're not going to pleat, you can as well just run gathers. You just run 2 gathering stitches like this, then pull them together, and then stitch your side seam, prepare the lower part, fold in the lower part, and then attach it to your top. Easy peasy, right? So once you finish attaching your sleeves, you're going to have a beautiful top just like this. Now you see how neat the neckline is, and then look at the sleeves. Everything is looking all nice and neat. I hope you enjoyed this sewing tutorial. Now the little sewing tip I shared, did it work for you? Have you tried it? Please, if you tried it and it worked for you, please let me know what you think in the comment section. Okay, and I really do hope that you enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, please remember to share with your sewing buddies, give me a like, leave a comment for me, let me know what you think. And if you have not already subscribed yet, please do well to subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you again in my next class. Bye bye.